Before the show even gets started, I want to apologize for hitting everybody yesterday. Bobby the Barney, Elliott Sadler, and the one car. But anyway, we're here to break it all down. And even if we can, I want to apologize for the show that's getting ready to come up too. We'll break it down after this.
Our goal is to stay in somewhere inside the top 15 each weekend, because when we get to Sears Point, we're going to score maximum points.
And you won't get any arguments out of us about that.
Well, Robbie Gordon made good on his promise of June 2nd, gaining maximum points by leading the most laps and winning the Dodge Save Mart 350 Sunday at Infineon Raceway in Sonoma, California. Hi, welcome to the Insurance Adjuster edition of NASCAR Inside Winston Cup. Alan Bestwick here in our Charlotte studios after the overnight trip from the West Coast. After winding through the California road course yesterday, our expert panel is here to wind through their expert analysis of Sunday's race.
What are you looking at me for?
After that opening, I wasn't sure if I should leave my phrasing that way or if I should change it. But we'll go with it anyway. We welcome to the program Kenny Wallace, driver of the Stacker 2 Dodge for Bill Davis Racing, Johnny Benson, driver of the Valvoline Pontiac for MBV Racing, and Ken Schrader, driver of the 1-800-CALL ATT Dodge for BAM Racing. So you all survived the road course anyway.
I'll tell you what, it's just... You look at those cars, and it makes Martinsville look like a super speedway. I mean, every one of those things is just beat up all over.
If they would have just took turn 11 out, everybody would have been okay.
Well, they
maybe
take 7 out. I saw a lot of beating everywhere.
That's for sure.
I sat next to Johnny's crew chief on the plane home last night, and we talked extensively about Johnny's fuel mileage. And he asked me at what point in the show was that going to play, high or low? And I said, well, we might as well get it out of the way right at the beginning. You led for a while.
We led for a while, and of course, you know, we came in there topped off and stayed on the tires and thought, well, we'll at least go out there, maybe be up front a little bit, try to stay out of trouble. And that part was okay, like I say, and we were running better than at the end there than what we had been all day. So I thought, man, we're good. I don't know how the rest of those guys that pitted to us made it, but we didn't. So I don't know if our fuel mileage is just off. We were burning more fuel, and I was trying to save it, knowing it was going to be close, and ran out. About a lap and a half to go.
Okay, so that's out of the way. James should feel better now.
Oh, yeah.
Robbie Gordon picked up his second NASCAR Winston Cup Series win on Sunday, but it wasn't easy. Over the final laps, he had to fight off a very determined challenge from the other Gordon, Jeff. And Robbie was pushing hard. So hard, in fact, he gave the camera a scare here. Check this out.
That block. Now see, this is turn. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, all three.
Depends.
That's a domino.
Which car you were in. Top 10 finishers from Sunday's Dodge Save Mart 350. Robbie Gordon led 81 of the 110 laps en route to the $204,000 win. Bill Elliott with a quiet but solid top 5 despite the foot injury from last month. Championship leader Matt Kenseth not in the top 10, just outside it. We'll show you why a little bit later on. We go green next with our expert panel's review of the Sonoma road course action. Robbie Gordon doing the victory donuts, while some others, including Jeff Gordon, questioned the gentleman's agreement. We'll talk about it. Frankie Stoddard will be in the hot seat today. And we'll answer your questions in Speed Fan Q&A and see the touch-and-go race for the win in the Memphis Craftsman Truck Race.
Speed Channel's coverage of NASCAR Inside Winston Cup is brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Call 1-800-RENT-A-CAR. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Headlines now on NASCAR Inside Winston Cup. Big news of the week, the announcement that telecommunications company, easy for you to say, Nextel, will replace Winston as title sponsor of NASCAR's Top Series. The 10-year deal announced in a New York press conference Thursday. Beginning in 2004, it'll be the NASCAR Nextel Cup. Driver change for the Morgan McClure team. Mike Skinner released by the team. Owner Larry McClure saying he was going to do whatever it took to get his team back to running competitively. Together, Skinner and McClure had only scored one top 10 finish in 50 races. Road racer Johnny Miller drove the car at Sonoma, permanent driver before Daytona. First up, reaction to the Nextel announcement.
I think it's big that in today's economy. I mean, it shows how strong our sport is that NASCAR could get that sold as a 10-year package with basically what everything they were looking for that quick.
Yeah, just a few months.
Like I say, that's the main thing. I mean, Winston's done so much for the sport for so long that, you know, we thought, you know, what's that next step going to be? Or, you know, can they match what they're doing, or is it going to be bigger? And like Kenny says, just shows just how big this sport is and how great the marketing is in this deal.
I think what's really big is that RJR and Winston Cup were able to work it out to where they could go find another sponsor and let RJR go on, you know, and solve all their problems that they have. I mean, it's really neat that our sport is that big that we can go ahead and get a sponsor signed up for 10 years.
Yeah, I thought the 10-year number was the quickness of it, and the 10-year number was remarkable. That's a huge commitment on Nextel's part, any company, for a 10-year sponsorship like that. At the press conference, NASCAR Chairman Bill France said R.J. Reynolds has been an invaluable partner to NASCAR and that he'd always be grateful for their long and successful partnership. And I hope that something that happens over these final 4 or 5 months remaining of this season is that people come to understand just how much R.J. Reynolds has done for this game.
We know that. I mean, we just make sure the fans, you know, that they know that the support that they've given us, the neat deals that they've done with the Noble and the Winston deal, and the fans win $1 million. I mean, that's just a huge deal.
If I was going to educate anybody about RJR, is for everybody to remember that they didn't leave racing because they wanted to. They left because of all the new tobacco laws. So, I mean, they were still here to stay for, you know, a couple, 3 more years.
You know, when RJR came on is when when it all of a sudden went to the Winston Cup schedule of what we call modern day, which was, I think at that time, 30 races, where it had cut down from 60 or something, and they, you know, got rid of a lot of the smaller one-day shows, and they just elevated the whole series right there, and it was all because of RJR and the Winston brand and everything they did.
R.J. Reynolds basically invented sports marketing. With what they did with NASCAR, and what they've done cannot be overstated in any means. Skinner was the second driver replaced in the last 2 weeks. Remember, John Andretti and Penny Enterprises split. I sense a lot of pressure in the garage area as we come to mid-season.
There's probably a lot of pressure. I guess the one part that, you know, when you sit there and deny things and say, no, we're sticking with the guy, this and that, whatever, and then a week later he's gone, I don't think that part's right, unless they were just doing that for the press stuff. Maybe Mike knew about it, but maybe not.
Whenever they deny it,
you know it's coming.
And they're blowing up all around me in the garage. I mean, it's close. I'm worried about getting hit with some of the shrapnel.
Okay. Boris Said won his first Winston Cup Bud Pole Award in track record fashion. Qualifying on Friday at Sonoma, Boris now among those qualified for next February's Budweiser Shootout. Our race review begins when we come back.
The Bud Pole Award is brought to you by Beechwood Aged Budweiser with a crisp, clean, and refreshing taste known only to the king of beers.
Jeff Gordon is a fierce competitor when it comes to road course racing, and I wanted to make sure that I kept him where he couldn't get to me and give me the bumper, and I wanted to stay about 3 to 4 car lengths going into turn 11. If I kept that, I knew I was pretty safe. He did almost get me, and at that point on, then I picked up my pace a little bit. You know, Jeff Gordon, like I said, he's a great race car driver. Anytime you can come here and compete at this level and Winston Cup racing, it's great.
Robbie Gordon got the job done Sunday, winning the Dodge Save Mart 350 at Infineon Raceway, Sonoma, California. We review the event now with our expert panel, Kenny Wallace, Johnny Benson, and Ken Schrader. Race summary, 110 laps, the prescribed distance on Sunday to get 350 kilometers.
It sure seems like a forever race. Kilometer, and a 3-hour race, too.
Yeah,
so it's a long yellows did we have? 16 laps.
It's like a 3-hour tour, like Gilligan's Island.
Oh boy.
Well, they got rid of Gilligan's Island there.
Finally.
They did. Yeah, they got rid of the island.
Okay. The Tycon.
Better explain that.
Yeah, where they used to have the excess pits inside the drag strip.
About 8 cars.
They called it Gilligan's Island. Is that a good enough explanation?
Yeah, that's close enough. Go ahead.
I continue to be impressed by what they've done to the facility there. The garages, the grandstands, just what they've done to the facility is really remarkable.
They have, you know, the actual track, they've made a couple changes that, you know, we can argue if we like them or not. But what they have done with the facility, I mean,
it's amazing.
When you're moving mountains and stuff, it's amazing to the view that you can see there. I mean, if you're a road race fan, that is the event to go to because you can sit up there and see 3/4 of the racetrack.
Seems like there's a lot more people showing up to that race now because you can see a lot more of the track.
I didn't run there last year, so I go out and practice. You
made your mark this year.
Yeah, I did.
He's already apologized for that.
I'm trying hard, man. I didn't run there last year. I come
Roll
down
the video. I want to see the
video. They won't let me talk. They won't let me talk.
Oh, yeah, right.
They changed the track. I come down the front straight and went, ah! I got to turn left quick. You know, I was still used to the old drag strip.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that wall's bad going down through there.
I thought on one of those restarts, you know, or like the initial starts, man, you know, this is one of them things, it'd be like just ping pong ball if something happens because there's no way we're all going to crash.
There were a couple times when people tried.
Now, listen, I only spun one person out and banged into 2 more.
I was going to say, you apologized to 3 at the top of the show.
Those are the 2 I banged into.
Well, there was others involved. He only spun one out.
Okay. The tight confines of the Sonoma road course makes passing difficult, which in turn can lead to numerous bumps, bangs, and spins.
Well put.
We begin at lap 8. That's the dreaded turn 7.
Yeah, and see, Bobby could have parked Bill there and kind of took himself out.
Didn't see the cause of this, but Elliott Sadler rearranging the valence on his car, trying to get back on track.
I can tell you,
Clear right there.
All the other ones. Broke traction.
This happened right in front of me.
Yeah, I'm going to swing by through here too.
Well, elaborate, please.
He just got in there hard. I mean, that's one of those corners that you could go in. It's a little forgiving because if you mess up a little bit, you had a lot of runoff, and it just looked like you locked the rears up a little bit, got loose, and off he went.
Downhill and really bad for brake hop compared to.
Yeah, there's a bump. There's one bump in a track there, and like I say, if you don't hit it just right, you start to hop.
Then there's a bunch of bumps.
Yeah.
But you can see you can run off there and not really damage the car, and he just spun and kept going, and you know he lost some time.
He
but
walked
he didn't
away.
Lose. He had lots of positions.
He's not having a good year either. I mean, the last couple weeks have been.
Oh, yeah. He now leads the league in races failed to finish. That's not good.
Yeah.
Robbie Gordon took the lead from Boris Said at lap 2 and was out front until pitting under green at lap 31. Just after Robbie stopped, the championship leader Matt Kenseth has bad luck and good luck all at the same time. Bad luck, watch the left rear. Good luck, where he is on the racetrack.
It's right at the entrance to pit road. That was coming out of turn 10. You run down into 11 and before you get to 11, you veer off to the left. Actually, you don't veer off, you just go straight instead of turn into 11, and you enter pit road. And with the debris that his tire left on the track, it means the yellow come out, and he gets to pit under the yellow, under the green, and everyone else, and puts him back out in front when everyone else pits.
It was really a remarkable, first of all, great job to not crash there off that corner.
Yeah.
And second,
This was big right here. This happened in front of me. Somebody went in that corner, and now we're talking about the upgrade of the racetrack. They've done a great job on the facilities, but they need to maybe work on paving the facilities.
Well, I talked to Steve Page Friday, and they've got some new pavement on the track, and they're repaving the rest of the facility. So, I mean, they're looking at everything.
they cleaned up the curb damage there, which was good because somebody could have knocked a piece of that around, and we go back racing. So let's look at some more contact action, shall we? Kurt Busch and Rusty Wallace racing for 6th at lap 46.
Oh, it's a good door banging action there.
On board Rusty's car.
It's just so tight. I mean, that corner there is one of the few places that you could go down in there and try to, you know, get some passing done. And it's very tight through this section where they're at. Extremely tight.
Lap 55, the halfway point of the race.
Well, you went a long ways to get in. That wasn't.
Well, like I said,
you got good break. I mean, man, you run that thing.
Like I said, I apologize for that. I don't do that very often, and I just got in there a little hot. Believe me, the whole time you seen me catching him, my rear end was out of the seat and my feet were on the brakes. I couldn't. I was like this, but I couldn't get slowed down.
Could you move to the left a little bit?
Well, then I'd have probably took myself out.
It was him or me. We voted. I didn't hear him.
Actually, there was a car that was outside.
It was Matt.
And he was trying to pass Matt. And
yeah, it was one of those deals where you come down that straightaway and everybody's like, I can pass him. This is out, you know, and all of a sudden it's like, ah!
And like Kenny says, if you go down in there and you start to get a little wheel hop, you're not stopping.
I didn't get in a wheel hop that time. That was just.
Oh, I was trying to help you, pal.
No, I'm.
Oh no, I didn't wheel hop.
Yeah.
I'm setting,
I just hit him.
Yeah.
I'm setting myself up for this next wreck.
The next one.
This one I just flat got into deep.
Okay.
And I didn't mean to. But now the next one is when I wheel hop, and it was bad. It was bad.
I'm actually going to give you a break. That's the one we're going to show.
You are going to show this next one?
Just that first one. That's it. I'm not going to show you.
Oh, thank God. Okay. Well, yeah, wheel hop right there.
Robbie Gordon still leading, but he's being pressured by his teammate Kevin Harvick at lap 56 while they're going at it for the lead. Watch Ron Fellows in the yellow DEI car. He'll be first by the time they come out of this corner.
Well,
Beautiful.
that was pretty good.
Both the RCR cars, where they both had good runs this week.
And I think that was about the point that Richard Childress got on the radio to both Gordon and Harvick and said, look, you're not going to tear my race cars up racing each other.
See, now that's that hard braking area. And they both went up a little too high.
Well, they both went in there pretty hot. Like Ron Fellows, he's a pretty good road racer, and he's seen what was going to happen.
He knows how to control his car.
Things are
How good
still
his brakes are, at least.
things are still pretty tense in the pack, and 2 laps later, a pair of separate but related incidents will bring out a full course caution. Mark Martin, Jamie McMurray, Kyle Petty.
Oh, trouble.
Pump, bang.
So Kyle nudges Jamie, who nudges Mark, and Mark spins around. Then Kyle will be on the receiving end of the gift a little bit later on, up at turn number 7.
Elliott.
I saw him go back after Elliott there for a little bit.
Okay,
Well,
so
He wasn't too happy
well,
about it.
check this out, though.
Let me see.
You didn't see it.
Oh, my Lord.
You're right. I didn't see that. I wonder how he got the mark in the door.
There you
And I
go.
wondered how them guys got there. I saw them hitting each other, but I didn't see that first part.
Now, you know what?
That's pretty cool.
There was a lot of...
Not if you were Jack or Steve.
No, but you know, I just wonder how we wind up in these stupid spots. And you see some.
You get it on video, you can tell. I mean, you got to feel bad for those two guys, like you say. They
They were just going by the scene of the
just going
crime.
by.
They were, and ended up part of it.
Kyle and Sprague were talking afterwards. At least I know what they were talking about now.
Oh, that should have been a good one. You don't talk to Kyle. Kyle usually grabs your helmet and jerks it
He
down.
got his Hans.
Got his arms.
All right, up next, synchronized spinning. No, it's not a new Olympic sport, but we did get to see it Sunday at Sonoma. NASCAR Inside Winston Cup continues on
Look at
Speed
that.
Channel.
That's cool. Except for these guys.
Ron Fellows is pretty good, but I think we had, the best car there at the end. And I ran Robbie down real quick, but he was good in the areas that you could pass him. There's only 2 of them on this track unless you drive off in the dirt. So, I tried to push the issue, tried to get him to make some mistakes, and made a couple, but not enough to open the door for me. And, with Robbie, when he's on these road courses and he's hungry like that, if you're in a championship points battle, you got to pick and choose your battles.
Foot was fine. Foot was good. When you run good, it makes it easy. But, I was 5 weeks out Saturday, and I felt like I was good. And the way I was mashing the brake here, the car felt really good. And, I knew we got track position that last time we stopped, and that's all it took. And the car was pretty decent.
Thoughts of Jeff Gordon and Bill Elliott on their top 5 finishes in Sunday's Dodge Save Mart 350 from Sonoma. We continue our review of the event now with Kenny Wallace, Johnny Benson, and Ken Schrader. We've looked through the first half of Sunday's Road Course Rumble that featured lots of bumps, bangs, and spins. We left off at a lap 57 caution just after the restart. More of the same. Featuring the beer wagons, Rusty Wallace and Dale Earnhardt Jr., who are running 7th and 9th.
Ooh,
and they get tagged by 2 different drivers and sent spinning in 2 different directions.
Wow, looks like Kurt Busch was involved.
That started earlier.
That's good if I had my little bell
Okay,
here.
but I didn't see who got ran to Rusty.
Well, if you'll hang with us just for a second, I'll bet we'll show you the cause of both.
Okay.
First, another look at the pack steaming through the mayhem.
See, if it wasn't for all this video, you could say you could
can make up
say
lies.
I didn't have anything to do with that.
The camera's your friend.
That must be the first one.
Okay, right there is it.
He got a tank slapper that he couldn't get out of. But he'll come back. His day, Jeff Burton's day, will come to a screeching end,
halt,
as we'll probably see.
And then, yes, we will. And then Kurt Busch was the one in the jam up that got underneath Dale Jr. and sent him turning.
Yeah.
So
a lot of times when you see you're going to hit somebody, it's just not worth it to let off.
I go and clear him out.
Clear him out.
You're like, look, I'm going to hit him.
Rusty ended up 33rd and Junior 32nd after the spins. They would both recover for nice finishes. Debris from the spinners brings out the caution flag, and 10 drivers make pit stops, including Johnny with 45 laps to go.
Yeah, just come in there, get tires. I mean, we were stuck at the back there all the time.
48 laps to go, I'm sorry.
And so we just come in, got some tires, got some fuel, and hoping for the best.
Watkins Glen, from the time we started running that race, you pitted at lap 30 and 60. And Sears Point wasn't really like that. You know, you kind of pitted when you thought you needed tires. And then this year, and last year too, now we're seeing everybody say, we're just going to pit twice and pick our 2 windows. And
because it's so hard to pass.
Because it's so hard to pass, and everybody's running so much better, making it harder to pass yet. So that's kind of a new to Sears Point.
Just after the restart, lap 65, trouble in turn 7, 3 wide, producing lovely synchronized spins.
I'm going to pass you. No, I'm going to pass you.
There was room for one more guy on the inside.
Let's get the other guy. Yeah. This is great.
Hey, Kenny, what'd your spotter say?
I was coming off 4A right then, starting to come down the hill, and my spotter just, turn 7's blowing up. I just knew there's a lot of stuff going to be down there.
You don't often see such nice synchronized spinning like that.
No,
They went around in perfect symmetry. The Russian judge gave them high marks.
Yeah.
I bet Boris.
Their finish got a little rough.
You think Boris knew that was going on behind him?
Look at Ricky Rudd through there, nice and clean.
So with that happening up in turn 7 and no caution called for yet, Richard Childress Racing calls both of their drivers to pit road at the same time.
Very smart.
They're in their fuel window. Watch the race to pit exit. They both knew how important this was going to be.
Let's try. Hey, that was funny. That was funny.
You like that? All right, somewhere in my notes I forgot to tell you when Kevin Harvick took the lead from Robbie Gordon, but that's okay. He did, obviously, and he held the lead there. See, that was with 45 to go. Ron Fellows is now leading, but before he gets the chance to pit under the green flag, there is trouble in turn 10 for Christian Fittipaldi that will bring out a caution.
That is a slippery area of the racetrack. That's probably the fastest area on the racetrack.
Scatters the tires. Now the Enterprise turning point of the race. Coming to the caution flag through where the accident was, although Christian is driven away.
What a pick.
Well, Robbie Gordon brought this up at the driver's meeting.
2 or 3 times. He brought
2 or 3 times. And Robbie Gordon did what you need to do to win these races.
He stayed aggressive.
We'll come back to that in just a second. Ron Fellows has to pit under the caution, puts him way back in traffic, costs him a lot of ground, and he was not able to get back to the front and contend for the win. So, gentleman's agreement has been when the caution comes out, if you're racing the leader to get a lap back, you race the leader. Everyone else should slow down and hold their positions and come back to the caution and try and allow the safety equipment to move pretty quickly. Now, the track was clear. I mean, Christian bounced off, fired it up, drove away. There was that one tire laying on the outside of turn 10, but there was no accident scene, if you will, where they needed to move safety workers. That said, talk about what happened in the driver's meeting and the etiquette here.
Without that being said, if Christian was laid over there upside down, the rule says you race back to the yellow. Right. And it's so hard to pass. And, I mean, I don't get into that whole thing where, you know, the gentleman's agreement, but it just doesn't work anymore. We don't have, you know, the templates now, they got to fit within 70 thousandths and a quarter inch and all that. It don't have to be close, you know. And this gentleman's agreement of racing back, it's outdated. It
Our
needs
sport,
to be
and we've seen it more than once this year. I mean, it's not the first time that we've seen guys do that.
Yeah, our sport changed forever. Sunday in the drivers' meeting, nobody realized what happened, but Mike Helton stood in front of all the drivers and said, well, last week the gentleman's agreement went out the window because Jeff Gordon and Robbie Gordon were asking this question about when there's a local yellow.
Waving yellow.
When there's a waving yellow, do we race on through that? And Robbie Gordon kept saying, well, can I pass through that yellow? And what we just seen on that tape was him taking advantage of the 29 car going through that yellow. You know, and plus everybody's slowing up to let everybody get their laps back. Now that's changing. Nobody's giving laps back anymore, except teammates. And when Mike Helton said that in the drivers' meeting, it kind of caught me off guard.
So Mike said it responding to something that happened in Michigan, but basically...
Right. Robbie Gordon brought up the question. Right. When there's a local yellow, which a local yellow is a waving yellow,
right.
just to
Do
inform
we all hold
you,
our spot?
Yeah, well, just inform you that there's trouble in that area.
Right.
Might be a car upside down, might be debris on the track, no telling what it is. But when there's a local yellow waving, just that area, if it's a car upside down, there's going to be a full course yellow. But there's just something in that area. Might be clearing itself up, the car spinning. Do we have to maintain our position through that area? No, it's just an information flag to tell you that there's something there.
When we run the road course for our deal, we kind of use somewhat of the same rules that we normally have. We don't use road course rules. Road course, they have a waving yellow. You can't pass through that section until you're through. But we don't use all the other flags. We don't use a debris flag. We don't use a move over flag. There's a lot of flags we don't use. And I think that's why it's, you know, Mike had said that that's the same as we've always been here.
Yeah,
so
it's no new deal.
Yeah, so everybody was not confused over it, but we were like, okay, I guess you can, if you make it through, you're good to go.
I think everybody used the gentleman's agreement in our minds that, okay, it's a waving yellow, everybody just kind of get through there and go back to racing. And
well, and plus you got a spotter there. I mean, Robbie Gordon didn't go flying into that turn knowing that there might be a couple cars upside down here or, you know, off the track or whatever. You got spotters telling you, hey, car in the outside wall, everything's clear, nothing on the racetrack, get it, you know?
I tell you what I'm hearing here is, first of all, I'm hearing you all say Robbie was good to make that pass.
Yeah, we were told that.
Second, what I'm hearing is leading me to believe there's going to be a lot of discussion when we get to Daytona for the next race about, okay, where does all this racing back to the yellow stand?
Well, it gets the bottom line is it says that you race back to the yellow, and that's what's going to happen.
Right, and it's so,
Now, he did say, you know, if you get pretty obnoxious about it, maybe they'll get in there and, and help your decision. But, you know, where does that line draw? That's no different than what we have.
I think what's happening in our sport is there's a lot of cars that get down a lap early in the race that shouldn't be down a lap early. And they really get to running fast, you know. And now does the leader keep him down? You know, how much do you race back to the caution?
I hear a can of worms.
We could be on this forever, but it goes back to 1900 whatever and scoring. And we don't have that problem anymore. We got GPSs on these cars that can tell you if someone's 6 inches in front of the other car, when, at a certain point, when the yellow came out, they can tell you who, you know, you hold your position. If there's a doubt, they can tell you who to go behind. I mean, it's just not,
Winston's run that way.
not a problem.
And the only thing I'd like to see them do, if they're going to change the rule, is go back to the last completed lap, and you avoid the situation at the Indy 500 a year ago of exactly when did the caution come out and was I past him or not.
See, I'm not going to say nothing because I really think we should move on to the next subject.
Thank you very much.
By the way, I haven't done this the whole show. This is for Mikey. That was a slow one.
That was pretty weak, yeah.
Well, hold on, let me do it again.
All right.
Hold on.
Where are we now in my oh yeah, okay, let's move ahead. Stop. Drivers like Ron Fellows, who stopped under the caution, would restart from 22nd on back. Johnny's leading. Robbie Gordon works his way through, then takes the lead from Johnny with 30 to go. We move ahead to 18 laps to go. Jeff Gordon gets second place and now begins applying pressure to the other Gordon. Having heard Robbie's post-race comments, I wonder if he was remembering back to the New Hampshire race that he won.
He did. He remembered it.
When he moved Jeff out of the way to win, and he was figuring that
it was coming back.
There would be no mercy given. 5 to go here.
That block. It's when you're heading towards it, it's hard to remember it's styrofoam and not concrete.
Robbie had been suffering from the after effects of food poisoning. Was ill just before the race all morning on a hot day on a physically demanding track. did a very nice job.
A very nice job.
That's a lot of money right there, $204,000 to the winner.
Jeff Gordon, his third top 3 finish in the last 4 races. Matt Kenseth recovers for 14th after that problem. All those guys that had problems recovered for nice finishes.
Because they had more guys that had problems.
Yeah, that's true. Rusty got 8th, Bobby Labonte 9th, Junior 11th. All those guys we saw get spun around. So there we go. That's the way they ran in Sunday's Dodge Save Mart 350. Up next, we fire up the hot seat and place Frankie Stoddard upon it. Time for the hot seat. Our guest heads up preparation of the Caterpillar Dodges of Bill Davis Racing. Crew driver Ward Burton heads into the summer break with improving results. Frankie Stoddard's here. How you doing?
Good, good.
How much sleep did you get?
A little tired. Well, 3 or 4 hours.
Oh, there you go. That's more than you need.
Yeah, that's plenty.
I turn you over for questioning to our esteemed panel.
Oh boy. Well, I don't know how esteemed these guys are today. I mean, I watched the tape. I watched the tape of what went on, and I want to say that in the brakes on the 22 car, I had nothing to do with the brakes on the 23 car. That was completely a Kenny Wallace, Felipe Lopez setup. Okay.
You knew when we started the program with somebody apologizing that we were right off the top there, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say something to Kenny on the plane last night. He flew home with us, but I felt like he just needed to sit there and gather his thoughts a little bit.
Yeah. What did you guys fight yesterday with the
Wait a
hood?
minute, I'm not done
Okay.
yet.
All right.
But the other thing I did see from the tapes in there was the Kyle Petty move.
Yeah.
That looked real similar. I'm wondering if he hadn't talked to Schrader the day before, because that looked real similar to the type of move that I heard Schrader pulled in his rental car.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well,
I heard about that, but I didn't bring it up.
We were going to bring it up, but
it was huge wreck. You can't pull out in front of 1-ton trucks and stop.
That's what I heard.
Hey, you know what? You finally, you finally finished the race. So I told you yesterday was going to be your day.
Yeah, I finished the race. What was you fighting? I'm so proud. What were you fighting yesterday with the hood up, you know?
Oh, well, actually, we changed carburetors. We come in at lap 29, 30, something like that, pitted for 4 tires and fuel, going to be in our window, or hoping to be in our window if we got some cautions. And as soon as we left pit road, probably 2 laps later, it started to miss. So, we didn't know if something was in the carburetor or what. Really don't clearly know exactly what went on, but we changed carburetors. That didn't fix it. Then we ended up coming back in and bypassing the fuel filter, looking under the hood some more, doing, moving some stuff around, and it finally went away. I mean, we'll find out at the shop what it was. Might have been something in the filter.
I thought that was kind of strange to come down pit road. You had the hood in, the trunk open.
Yeah, we had it all going on.
You don't normally.
4 tires, and the fuel man didn't put the fuel in. I had them go change the fuel filter. It was interesting.
And still finished 16.
Yeah, we still get out with a finish. Yeah, really we fixed the problem somewhere along the way, or God fixed the problem for us, and then we were in our pit window, and we got lucky. We got those cautions there at the end. Ward was on there saying, "There's no oil on the racetrack." Oh yeah, there is. It's oil all over the place.
That was a great call on your part because I mean you made it and Johnny didn't. You know.
We
You made it to the end. We did.
James just fell off the couch at home.
Probably.
But no, yeah, we got fortunate. We got the cautions. I mean, we were going to be like about a lap and a half shy, and when that caution came out,
We were right in. Right at it.
But, what's the difference now? I mean, we saw earlier this year the deal with the Dodge and all that stuff, where the backing. How big of an impact has that had? Or, I mean, obviously we know the financial part of it, but outside that, what's the impact been on your side?
Well, I mean, I really haven't seen a whole lot. I mean, I'm so new to the Dodge deal and stuff anyway that, I mean, I've really, from the engineering side of it, I mean, I know we've lost a few things in the engineering support, lost some wind tunnel support and things like that, but, we're still going to the wind tunnel. We've got a car going to the wind tunnel this Friday. I mean, so it really hasn't stopped us in anything there. We've got our own engineers at the shop, so, I mean, we don't have the pool to pull from that, that the other teams have, but we've got enough talent in our own shop that I really don't see much of a setback with it right now.
All right, got to take a commercial break here. We'll come back more with Frankie Stoddard in the hot seat in a minute. First, NASCAR's top 10, plus more that we want to see. Matt Kenseth's lead only lost 11 points after the flat tire problem at Sonoma on Sunday. 174 over Jeff Gordon, who's now in second. Mikey's in fifth. Moved up a spot this week.
Doing good.
Robbie Gordon up 3 spots with his win. Ward is 21st. Johnny 24th.
I'm 28th.
There you go. You want to comment? Now's your chance to vote for the second quarter Driver of the Year Award nominee. Log on to speedtv.com and choose from among these drivers. Your votes go alongside those of the select media panel. Results coming soon on Speed News. We are in the hot seat segment of our program with Frankie Stoddard, crew chief of the Caterpillar Dodge for Bill Davis Racing. He's being intensely grilled by our expert panel.
Intensely.
Exactly.
Get
Hey,
him.
okay, my question, I kind of know it, but it's, you
You
know,
push real hard on the brake pedal and the car will stop.
all right, now it's getting a little out of hand. How did you make your way from the Northeast down to be crew chief for Jeff Burton so many years ago? How did you get down here?
Well, actually, you'll remember this name, a guy by the name of Dana Patton.
Oh, yeah.
Was from Enfield, New Hampshire. I'd raced up there against him on the Busch North Series with Stubb Vadden. And Dana had hired me to crew chief him, and, you know, long story, but the short version of it is we got a sponsor, moved south, and moved to Rockingham, and ran for the Busch Rookie of the Year award.
What made you move to Rockingham, of all places?
That was where actually Bobby Hudson was, and he was going to be doing our bodies, and we were working out of his shop and stuff, and he was like our liaison because, you know, we were just a couple kids that didn't know much about the South, and, you know, you guys were going to take us to school if we didn't have some Southern help, so...
I'm from the Midwest.
I understand, but you've been down here long enough, though. And so anyway, that got me in Rockingham, and then, you know, through the years, I just met different people and stuff, and, you know, when Jeff started his deal with the 99 there, he called me out, offered me a position to come down and get started.
That's great.
All right, for the really important stuff, tell me about the daughter.
She's doing really good. Actually, her first birthday is coming up this Wednesday.
Because she's new since you've been with us last.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she is. She's. I haven't seen her in a week. We went out there last week on Tuesday, so today was the first day I'd seen her since then, and she didn't go. And feel like she's grown. You know, she's this tall now, and I stand her up on the counter this morning. And but yeah, she's a year old Wednesday, and all the in-laws and outlaws are coming down to celebrate the big first birthday. So it should be fun, I think.
We shouldn't ask who are the in-laws and who are the outlaws, should we? Leave that alone?
Depends on the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. You mentioned Stubb Vadden, one of the great racers from the northeastern part of the country. You had the privilege to be part of a Hall of Fame induction for him.
Yeah, that was real special. He got presented into the Hall of Fame in New England back in, I think, February or something. It was just before Daytona. Yep. And they called me and asked me to come up and do the induction, and which was real special. I mean, that, you know, I've told many people, and this will always be the truth. I mean, all the Winston Cup races that I've been fortunate enough to win will never have anything close to the meaning of what winning races with Stubb Vadden at 59 and 60 years old against Robbie Crouch and, you know, Junior Hanley and some of the great short track races that I think I've ever watched. And, you know, those wins mean far more to me than anything I ever do in Winston Cup. And it's just because of the fact that when you run a late model series or a Busch series, something like that, you're the only employee, and so you do a lot more of it yourself. And Winston Cup is, you know, hundreds of people that are doing the job. I mean, when we went on Sunday, I mean, it's just because everybody else did their job real well, and I was a part of it. It's much different on a Saturday night short track level. I mean, Kenny, I'm sure understands what I mean about that.
All right, hang with us for a little bit.
Yeah.
You can help us answer some questions in just a couple of minutes.
Help.
We need the help, too. Would one of the questions have to do with road courses? I'll bet it does. We'll come back after this. Reminder of these programs: Wind Tunnel Friday night, 11 Eastern with Dave Despain taking your calls. Saturday night, 8 o'clock Eastern time on Speed. Backstage at the Dale Earnhardt Tribute Concert. All the characters and the cast of thousands that'll be there. Speed Channel will have a live show for you from backstage Saturday night. And next, after we're done, Craftsman Truck Series Rewind from Memphis. If you missed Saturday's race, you can see it next here on Speed. All right, time for Speed Fan Q&A, your weekly topics of inquiry for our expert panel. We begin with Robert of Pueblo, Colorado, who wants to know what the starting tire pressure is in a Winston Cup car and if it changes from track to track.
Just to make Frankie feel comfortable, let's let him answer that.
Crew chief, go for it.
Well, yes, it does change from track to track. Goodyear has a book that they give everybody, the tire guys and the crew chiefs, at the beginning of the year. And there's certain recommended pressures for each and every racetrack. I mean, when you go to the road course, there's the front and the rear pressures are basically the same. When you go to Bristol, we don't run interliners on the left side tires, so you don't have an interliner, but you'll have a 30-pound pressure over there. They'll give you a qualifying pressure recommended and a race pressure recommended. And then obviously, it does change from track to track.
Next question, Mike from the Dalles, Oregon. Do you think NASCAR should add more road courses or get rid of the 2 they have now?
I say either do it. I say either do it or don't. I mean, I think they should add 2 more road courses on. I think it's like Daytona or Talladega. Run 2 or 4. Either run dirt or don't.
We may want to get a panel together of the people that Kenny was involved with this weekend to decide whether they think that we need to add more road courses.
I like road racing, but I mean, it's like you run 2 races a year. These guys got to bust their butts. They build 2-3 cars, for 2 races.
I think the only issue with the road course is from the owner's point. We're doing a lot of things to cut down on the costs, or we're trying to do things to cut down on the costs. I'm not sure that we've ever done a great deal that's actually cut down the cost. We've tried, but I don't know that it's ever worked. Is that it's a lot of work for the teams, and it's a lot of work for the owners to prepare and to get extra transmissions, driveline components, all the stuff for road courses that is so different that sits there for 2 races out of the year. I mean, at least at the plate races we run 4 races now. And when we talk about expanding the schedule and stuff, if you eliminated those, it'd be a huge cost saver to the teams. That's the only, from the owner's standpoint.
Yeah, well, we need your standpoint. You have a different standpoint than most people.
Got a question?
That's usually a problem for me.
To submit your questions, visit speedtv.com. Go to the program section and look for Inside Winston Cup.
All right, we are going to show you next the Craftsman Truck Rewind after the conclusion of our program, but here's just a little tease for you. The finish of Saturday's race. Ted Musgrave reclaiming the lead just before halfway from Dennis Setzer.
Dennis got a little loose. Ted made a clean pass to the bottom side.
Okay, later John Wood gets the lead. And John doing a great job. Something's clicked in that Roush team here these last couple of weeks for them.
Really good.
So John goes by Ted for the top spot. Now we move ahead. That's about the 3/4 point of the race, right around lap 150. We move ahead, 13 laps to go. And what would be the winning pass? Musgrave looks low, Musgrave looks high.
And they both definitely just, they bumped a little bit. Both got out of shape, and Ted ended up being the better deal out of that coming off the corner.
Final corner, watch Travis Quapple get a run at Ted when Ted gets held up in that lap traffic. It was close. But Ted hangs on, gets the win, his 2nd win of 2003 and 12th overall in the Craftsman Truck Series. Bobby Hamilton holds on to the championship lead. Want to see the whole race? It's coming up next here on Speed Channel. We'll be right back.
Speed Channel's coverage of NASCAR Inside Winston Cup is brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Call 1-800-RENT-A-CAR. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up. And by Beechwood Age Budweiser, with a crisp, clean, and refreshing taste known only to the king of beers.
All right, here's the calendar for the weekend. Craftsman Truck Series and NASCAR Busch Series at the Milwaukee Mile, Saturday and Sunday. Speed Channel Saturday, FX on Sunday. And don't forget Speed News throughout the weekend, an update on everything that's happening in the world of motorsports, including NASCAR edition on Sunday night. Frankie, thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being here. Happy birthday to Alexis.
Yes, that should be a fun event.
Tour de Schrader this weekend is?
Hales Corner, Wisconsin, Tuesday. Jacksonville, Illinois, Friday. Peebly, Saturday. Truck race at Memphis, Saturday.
Milwaukee.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
And I want to thank Boris Said for driving our Federated Out Parts car Saturday at Snowman around 2nd.
JB's out this weekend, too.
Yeah, I'm going to go up to my hometown, Berlin Raceway up in Marne, do some racing. So if you're not going to watch a truck race, come over to Berlin.
You've already won one up there this year, right?
Won one, finished 2nd, and the other had to go to the back. I got things stuck in gear, and I had to pit.
Your own track, you had to go to the back?
I'm going to Canada to run a cast car race. I want to thank Jody Wood, who let me drive his dirt car at Quincy, and look out for the new YJ Stinger Winston Cup car at Daytona will have a new paint job.
Daytona's next.
Yes.
I'd say you have a weekend off, but it sounds like everybody's got plenty of plans for the weekend of racing, so, but that's good. All right, the Dale Earnhardt Tribute Concert Saturday night. Watch for the backstage show here on Speed. Next, it's Craftsman Truck Rewind, and we will be here next Monday night with another fine edition of NASCAR Inside Winston Cup. A variety of topics to be covered, and hope that you will join us. We're sorry for the preceding program.